Check 1, 2. Return to people.
What's happening, everybody? We are back with another Return to People episode. Today's guest went from the Obama White House to the Peace Corps in West Africa to launching a superfood company at just, you ready for this? 23 years old. Oh my gosh. I want to tell you what I was doing at 22. Goodness. She's a Forbes 30 under 30 honoree, Inc. magazine's top 100 female founder. Let's go. And because of the culture she has built, they often receive over 500 applicants per job post. Wow, that's a lot of applicants to be sifting through. Now generates millions of dollars in revenue with just 11 people across 6 different countries. And you'll find her products in Whole Foods, Walmart, and over 11,000 stores. Listeners and viewers, please welcome the founder and CEO of Kuli Kuli Foods, Lisa. Settle down, studio audience. Settle down. Sorry, Lisa, they are out of control. The studio audience gets really hyped. You're hyped. It's nice to have you on the show. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Yeah, I love your setup back there. It looks great. Everything is awesome. So, before we jump into Kuli Kuli, we need to know what's up with Lisa Kurz, 22 years old. Most people are, they don't know where they are at 22 years old, maybe in some frat party. So can you just talk just a little bit about your early career and how you landed where you are today?
Yeah, I grew up in a household where we were always expected to go above and beyond whatever community service hours you had to do for school, etc. So my mom is a church deacon. She's she's like one of the heads of the church that organizes a lot of community events. I'm actually myself not particularly religious, but grew up in a household where you were expected to give back every single week, help somebody. What are you doing to help somebody? And that was really kind of my mindset and still is today. What am I doing to leave this world better than I found it? So I think that kind of took me in a lot of different directions throughout, high school. I organized like a recycling program where the money went for Habitat for Humanity. In college, I did a lot of community organizing. I did a lot around like climate activism, sort of youth organizing, also some volunteering at the juvenile justice system, which turned into some like interesting local community organizing projects in Washington State where I went to school. And then, it was an amazing experience to be in the Obama White House and kind of see how politics looks from the inside. I also ended up meeting my husband there. So it was a great summer for me.
What? Can we give a date on that? Shout out to the summer.
Yeah, summer of 2009.
Let's go. 09. 09 was a great summer. Good for you. Congratulations.
It was.
Did you ever get a chance to meet President Obama by any chance?
Yes, I met him a couple times. I actually won an award for community service. It's a theme he gave to me, which was really cool. So I got a chance to chat with him then. And then they had a luau party at the White House that I got a chance to chat with him. And kind of the funny thing is I had spent the summer before in Kenya when, it was like amidst the election, 2008, obviously, Kenyans claim Barack Obama as a Kenyan. And everyone I met was like, when you go back to the U.S., tell Obama hello and figure out, does he actually speak Swahili? You have to test his Swahili. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, if I ever meet Obama, I'll test his Swahili. Like, that's never going to happen. And then I met him and I was like, okay, I got to do it. I got to try it. I got to see if President Obama speaks Swahili. So I did. And he was like, he did not say what I'm sure he is thinking is like, who are you, little white girl, to like speak Swahili to me? But he was, in fact, very kind and responded back and was like, where'd you learn Swahili? And I was like, I was just in Kenya and everyone wanted to know, do you speak Swahili? And he was like, how'd you do? I was like, I think pretty good. I'm not an expert, but you did great. So it was very sweet.
So did he? Did he speak Swahili at all?
He spoke it back to me. I said, hello, how are you? I said, Jamo Bariyako, and he said it right back. So
pretty cool. Last question. I've asked this on another podcast. Shout out to Nick Bloom. What does he smell like?
oh, interesting.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to answer that. You don't have to.
I didn't get that physically close to the president of the United States to like really sniff him, but I'm sure he smelled great.
I was thinking for some reason I just want to say baby powder and maybe cocoa butter. You know what I mean? I'm just, he has gray skin. He has gray skin. So anyway.
He does have great skin. I know. He's so great in so many ways.
So then you went from there. I read, can you just talk a little bit about your energy experience? So, we've had a lot of conversations with other people that got into the energy space. It's a fascinating industry. So how did you wind up in your next role?
Yeah. So, I mean, the journey was like a little bit convoluted in the sense that I spent a summer in the Obama White House and graduated from college, joined the Peace Corps. We'll talk more about that in a minute. There was a terrorist attack. So I got forced to evacuate the Peace Corps early. So I ended up living in India and working at an impact investment firm for 7 months. Then I came home and got a job at a solar company, a solar finance company, and was their communications director and really loved it. Learned a ton. We went from like 5 people to 40 people in 2 years and, raised over $5 billion for solar energy. So it was a pretty sweet time to be there.
Okay. So you're in West Africa. You're helping the world. You're saving people. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of think like for me, Peace Corps is really about the like cultural exchange, Yeah. It's like, I don't really think I was saving anybody. I think I was learning a lot. And I think other people were learning a lot about Americans just from interacting with me. And one of the things that I think is particularly cool about the country I was in, Niger, is that it's very Muslim. It's like 98% Muslim. It's also one of the first countries that Peace Corps went into. And a lot of people grew up, having a Peace Corps person in their village or knowing somebody who knew somebody in the Peace Corps. And they have like generally one of the best perspectives on Americans as a predominantly Muslim country goes. So there's folks who will tell you, certainly the Peace Corps will tell you that is like what the Peace Corps can do, is that sort of like person to person diplomacy of, let me understand you better, let you understand me better. And that's, I think, really what I got out of it the most.
Experiencing different cultures. So during that time, you experienced that culture and you stumbled upon something. So tell me how that stumble has migrated to where you are today.
Yeah. So I'm vegetarian. And if you can just like picture for a moment, I was placed in this very rural village, like no electricity, nowhere any water, living in like a little mud house and not a lot of healthy food, like no like tofu or greens or, the stuff I was used to eating. And so I found myself eating a diet that was like mostly just carbs. And I started feeling awful. Like I was just really tired all the time, super lethargic. And so I was volunteering at the health center and I asked some of the women there, like, what can I eat to give me more energy, give me more protein, like give me more iron, just like make me feel better. And they literally went to this tree and like picked the leaves and they mixed it into this popular local snack, peanut snack called Kuli Kuli, and said, eat this Kuli Kuli moringa, it'll change your life. And I was like, what? What is moringa?
Okay.
Why are you feeding me tree leaves? But I was like, I trust these women. At this point, I will do anything to feel better. And so I did. I started eating it and I ate it every day for like 2 weeks. And then I was like, whoa, I really do feel better. Like I feel a lot better. What is this? What is this plant? So next time I got to a city with internet, which was like, a month later, I did some research. I'm like, oh my God, this plant is so cool because it grows all over the tropics. It's super nutritious, arguably one of the most nutritious plants in the world. You just pick the leaves and you can mix them with, a lot of different things. And it really has kind of like a multivitamin in a leaf, protein, calcium, iron. It's also known in Ayurvedic medicine. It's known as the miracle tree in lots of different countries in Africa. It's known as the drumstick tree in India. It's like the tree of life in other cultures. So it's like got all this like medicinal significance in a lot of places. And there's some really interesting clinical studies on it here in the US as well. Long story short, I got obsessed with moringa. I was like, but my first question was just like, how can more people locally use it? And they were like, we're not going to grow a crop that we can't sell. So how about you help us sell it? And I was like, okay, I'll help you sell it. I didn't know what I was signing up for. And then, my Peace Corps experience got cut short. And so instead of helping them sell it in like the local city, I was like, well, now I'm back in the US. Can I help them sell it here? And I kind of got obsessed with that idea of like, can I make this a thing? Can I help them sell moringa in the US? And I thought it was going to be a, short-term side project. And turns out it's my life's work. I'm still doing it.
Wow. So you do all this research, you're trying to help them sell it. So what is it when people turn to Kuli Kuli Foods? What is it that you all provide? What is it that you all do?
Yeah. So good question. So we sell what we call community grown superfoods. So we source from small farmers across Africa and India. And we source these amazing superfoods like moringa, baobab, hibiscus, lucuma, maybe things you haven't heard of, maybe things maybe have. And we sell them in the form of powders and gummies and capsules, like you said, in 11,000 stores. So our whole idea and kind of what a lot of our customers believe in is like, just because it doesn't grow in America doesn't mean it's not an amazing plant. And there's actually these plants that have been used by other cultures for thousands of years they're really powerful. And if we can grow them in partnership with small farmers in a way that like helps improve their lives and the lives of people in their community, and then sell these like super nutritious, powerful plants here in the US, we can create a lot of good. So that's what we do.
That is awesome. So who'da thunk? Maybe we can learn something from other cultures. I don't know.
Yeah,
culture
totally.
exchange is not such a bad idea. My gosh, kudos to you for doing that. And I also read that you all are a B Corp. Can you talk a little bit about like what is a B Corp and what is it that you all do and why did you feel that it was necessary to become a B Corp?
Yeah, we became a B Corp really early on. So we're a B Corp, which is like the certification. We also changed our legal structure to be a benefit corporation, which instead of like a nonprofit or a traditional corporation, C Corp, we're sort of in between. We're like that in between a nonprofit and a for-profit. And I thought that was really important because for me, I didn't set out to start a food company. I set out with a mission of like, how do we support small farmers through these like climate smart, nutrient rich plants? And how do we like bring these to more people and support the wellness of like more people around the world? And that mission needs to be at the forefront of everything we do. And so we really we take it very seriously of like, no market, no mission. We gotta sell products. That's like, we gotta be a sustainable business, but we also have to do it in a way that like really improves the lives of people around the world, including folks here in the US who consume our products.
Right. So I'm assuming that you do like either give back or only source from farmers somewhere else. And that's kind of your should we say mission driven piece of it, or?
We do both. So we source directly from small farmers. We pay above market prices. So generally they're making like 3 to 4x what they could make selling a local crop like millet or cashews or something like that. So it's very high value crops. Yeah. And then we reinvest 10% of our profits back into the communities that we source from in community-led projects. So we're not going in and saying like, we're going to build you a school, we're going to build you a well. Like we say, what do you need and where can we invest $5,000 to $10,000 in a way that like helps to transform your community? So we've done everything from rainwater harvesting projects that brought clean drinking water to 800 school children in Uganda. We did solar power installation in Mozambique that provided an entire village with solar, especially during hurricane season when like power goes out. We did a really cool project in India to help girls get like solar lanterns and scholarships to be able to study. So we've done some really cool stuff. And when I say we, it's like us in partnership with these amazing communities that we work with.
Wow. Wow. It's inspirational. All you listeners and viewers out there, you can do good and make money. So it's not a situation of you have to pick A or B. There's nothing wrong with that. So out of curiosity, what does Kuli Kuli mean?
So Kuli Kuli is the name of the original snack that I was given. It was mixed with moringa. So Kuli Kuli is it's a peanut snack. And I kept telling everybody, I was like, this Kuli Kuli moringa changed my life. And it just was one of those things where it just stuck. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Kuli Kuli moringa, Kuli Kuli, Kuli Kuli. And we sort of think of it as it's being emblematic of how do we bring amazing plants that transforms people's health and how do we do it then in a way that helps transform communities. So it is the name of a West African snack.
I feel like it should be a great t-shirt. We can all be Kuli Kuli. There it is. There's a free
Exactly.
How Kuli Kuli are
Thanks. I'll take that. Exactly. I know.
So
we've done some fun jokes in that regard.
you've done it. Okay, cool. Oh, dang. I didn't do that on purpose, but there it is. So you would think that a food company, if you just say that out loud, we're a superfoods company. To me, I envision farmers. To me, I envision, the lines and all the food being put together. But of course, there are other staff that have to do other things, to sell the product. When did Kuli Kuli, as a company, foods, when did you all make the decision to embrace remote and hybrid work? I find that fascinating. What sparked the idea? What sparked the shift?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I will say it's interesting. A lot of food companies today do what's called contract manufacturing, where there's like a factory that makes bars or makes powders or makes gummies, and they do it for a lot of different brands. And so we've actually never owned a factory ourselves. So in some sense, we've always had kind of hybrid work because the people who make our products, they're not located in the same area as us and they're not our employees. Same with our farmers, right? We have very strong and deep partnerships, but we don't own any farmland. And so essentially what we have in terms of our direct team are folks doing operations, all of the logistics of packaging, transporting, et cetera, making the product, helping, overseeing the co-packers to make the product. And then we have sales and marketing. And so we used to have, but prior to COVID, we had pretty much everybody was in the Bay Area with the exception of like one salesperson on the East Coast. And we had like a fairly flexible work schedule. Like most people would work from home on Fridays and like, sometimes people would be in and out with appointments. So we weren't like 9 to 5, stay here, change your desk.
Always flexible.
And then
always flexible.
Always flexible. But then obviously like everybody else during COVID, we closed our office, we were all working from home, and our team also changed. So it was very interesting. We had some people leave, we had just like some transitions, and we brought in, not intentionally, but brought in a lot more parents. I also had 2 kids during COVID. My co-founder also had 2 kids during COVID. And we sort of really started to learn, wow, this whole work from home thing just makes life a lot easier. Like my ability to like start the dishwasher or like, fold the little laundry while I'm on this conference call. It works really well. And we made the decision of, even though we still had that office, that we were going to get another food company to split it with us. And then we were going to go in roughly once every 2 weeks. We have what we call like a collaboration day where folks who are in the Bay Area come into the office and we like collaborate in person. And then more recently, just as of last year, we kind of started to have the thought of like, well, why are we only hiring in the US? Because we are in many ways a global company. We partner with,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
farmers all over the world. Like, why not
Mhm.
look for talent outside of the US? And particularly because last year, as you remember, right around this time was when a ton of tariffs got announced. As a company sourcing globally, we got hit with hundreds of thousands of dollars of
Wow.
tariffs. And it meant that, like, we did not have a ton of money. It really
Right,
impacted
right.
our margin. And so we were thinking a lot about, like, okay, we know that this year we're really growing, we're really scaling, but we can't hire a ton more people to do that. How do we hire more people in a way that like fits within our budget? And so that's when we started hiring folks abroad. So we currently have, we have some folks in the Bay Area, we have some folks on the East Coast, and then we have someone in the Philippines, or actually we have kind of a team in the Philippines, both accounting and creative. We have a social media manager in Europe. We have my EA is in Germany. We have, I think it's 6 different countries now. So
Fun.
we've spread out.
That's really fascinating. So obviously, just like a lot of the first thing that popped in my mind is a food company, a non-tech company in the Bay Area. Like when you said
Yeah.
that, I was like, I mean, we all know that. Jokes aside, we all know that there's plenty of companies in San Francisco and that area.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting to hear. Like, yeah, I decided to start a food company in the Bay Area. But so you decided because of COVID was really the starter and the thing that got you experience of remote work, and then you all decided, hey, this is going well, why not? So with that, there are challenges. We call it the remote employee experience tree. What have been some of your biggest challenges around the remote employee experience?
Yeah, I think there's a couple that comes to mind. I feel like one of the hardest ones for us is onboarding. Like onboarding folks remotely just feels really different. And we've actually gotten to the point where we've decided that when we hire someone new within the first month, we want to either bring them in or we want to go to them. So, if we can, we fly them
Interesting.
to Oakland and we like do a whole session with them. But we have an employee in Guatemala who couldn't get a visa. And so we had my co-founder, who's like our CTO, CFO, and our COO flew to Guatemala and worked with her and there.
That's
Because
great.
it was great. And she loved it. They loved it. And it just like made things so much faster. Because I think when people are learning, we learn best when we're like sitting alongside somebody, like really working together and collaborating. And that's just like you can screen share, but it's not the same. So the onboarding part, I've found like to the extent we can onboard in person helps a ton. And then I think keeping the culture. Like I think that's the other thing that
Yeah,
I really think about a lot
the
is,
engagement
you
side.
know, the
Yeah.
engagement side. When we were in the office, it was really easy to be like, hey, let's go out to lunch. Let's like have a happy hour. Let's do this fun thing. And it's definitely, you have to put in a little bit more work to like bring people together, to engage people, to, encourage them to share more than just like their work and,
Yeah, their
encourage
whole
them to the
self.
extent they share their whole self. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, have you tried to do some things that, especially, I know onboarding, you can definitely go kind of like the course idea and building modules and things like that, and maybe spreading it over a little bit more time. But like back to the engagement side, have you guys tried to implement anything to kind of, because what you're talking about is that energy that you can't replace. You actually cannot replace being in person because there is an energy. So what have you guys attempted to
Yeah.
do to kind of bridge that gap?
Yeah. So we do 2 team stand ups a week. So these are generally
Sure.
like 20 to 30-minute calls. And we try to keep Tuesdays like more business focused. We have like kind of
Start the
updates on
week
like
off.
what's moving
Yep.
here, like
Hmm.
what's, updates by department, issues, like let's solve problems together, wins, let's do that. And then Friday, we try to make it non work related. So we try to make it something where it's like, Do we bring in a guest speaker? Do we want to like learn something new? I mean, this isn't totally non-related, but whenever we can, we'll bring in like one of our supplier partners. Like we've had, people call in
Great
from
idea.
Ghana or Mozambique or other
Yeah.
places and like tell us about what it's like, tell us about what we can do better to partner with you more. And that's been really, really cool. We've also tried to do, now that we're such a global team, like how do we do more to like really celebrate different people's holidays?
Good one. That's a good one.
So we had our logistics manager from Guatemala describe the way that they celebrate Easter in Guatemala, which is like a whole week. It's a whole huge thing. And then we had our production planner in Honduras describe how he celebrates and showing pictures. And it was just like amazing. Like I didn't know they like poured sand in the streets to make this like intricate art. All these things that I was like, I would have never known this, but it's so cool to hear about different people's traditions. And, like we had one of our US employees who's, Chinese American shared like, what does Lunar New Year mean? And then we all had to look up like our Lunar New Year horoscope and talk about it and if it resonated or not. So we try to really like make the cross-cultural aspect something that is beneficial to all of us and something we can celebrate.
I'm trying to hold in emotion because I don't know why I was getting emotional just kind of hearing about the different culture exchanges that you were having, because that's how your whole career kicked off. And it's fascinating to see you kind of, hey, I'm not going to forget what was so powerful from that perspective. Although we're doing this just to connect with each other, and it's not motivated by money or anything like that. It's just more the curiosity. So, I have to do this. Shout out to your moms. Shout out to your moms for instilling this in you, regardless of how she did it. Shout out to your moms. That's all I have to say, because I mean, being able to give back and experiencing that culture exchange, obviously you can tell just how you're responding and like how you were truly genuine about how excited you were about learning about the saying. Now I'm curious about the saying in the street. So
it's really cool. Google it.
Google it. So kudos to you. All right. So you talked about some of your challenges, onboarding and engagement, and you've even talked about how you've been able to set up great ideas, by the way. Those are really great ideas. What has been some of your biggest success? Obviously, you built a culture, I think.
Yeah.
So what has been some of your biggest successes when you talk about the remote employee experience?
I mean, the talent we've been able to hire. Like, I think we have, like, the more we've opened up, first we opened it up, okay, we can hire anyone in the US. And then we opened it up, like, we could kind of hire anyone in the world, like, time zones, you can work around things.
Yes.
But I actually find sometimes time zones can be an advantage. So like, my EA is in Germany. I send her stuff end of my day. She then starts stuff and like has stuff prepped by the time I wake up. Same with our like team in the Philippines. Like we talk to them at like 4, 5 p.m. our time. They turn stuff over night and then we wake up and it's there. And so it's kind of like we're almost operating 24 hours.
24-hour production.
Yeah, in some ways it is.
That's fascinating.
It's like, I think if you're thoughtful about it, time zones can be a competitive advantage. Yeah, absolutely. Like talent has been our best part of being remote first is just
and
like
success, 500 applicants, the culture that you're building. Obviously people enjoy your vision, your mission. So you're getting a ton of applicants. So attracting talent, check. One of your biggest successes. Anything else come to mind?
I mean, it would be remiss as I didn't say that, like, the fact that we are not paying Bay Area salaries for our entire team is huge. Like being based as a non-tech company in Silicon Valley where, the rent is too high. But we, can hire people where we pay above market in Guatemala and Honduras and all these countries. And yet that is way cheaper for us than hiring people in San Francisco.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so if you were gonna go back in a time machine, maybe a DeLorean or a hot tub time machine, what would you tell yourself? What piece of advice would you give to yourself your 22-year-old self around this employee experience? Is there anything that you would tell young Lisa or 22 Lisa?
Yeah. I mean, I think I would have tried to hire remote people earlier. I think we were very focused at the beginning of like, you get the like Silicon Valley startup vibe, like, oh, we all have to be in the office. We have to be here from
Heads
like
down.
8 to 7 and just like heads down. And
Go.
and that's what's going to make it. And it was interesting because in our early days, we hired a lot of people who were like us, who were like young, super smart, didn't know anything about food, didn't know anything about the industry, but was willing to like work all day. And then we, sort of COVID made us just like expand our sites. And we're like, oh, actually hiring people who are more experienced in their career, but maybe not based here, but like actually offering them a super flexible work. Like the other thing I would just say is like, we've had a lot of women who have been out of the workforce, one of them out of the workforce for like 10 plus years because of caring for a kid, who we were the first person to hire them back in the workforce. And they had so much trouble finding other jobs. And we've had like multiple women who this has been the case for. And I'm like, these women are amazing. And we've gotten them like
PhD, but I want to take care of my kid. Like the skill level that they still have. It's just, you've been out for a little bit, but like they can catch up very quickly. We've hired a few like that as well. It's amazing.
And I would say being a mom myself, like parenting also teaches you a lot of resilience and a lot of like, how do you juggle a lot of things and how can you be like super productive and work under pressure? So I think if I could go back, I would just encourage myself to think a little bit broader about what success looks like. Like, what does success in a employee look like, and not having this like startup grind, 996 kind of thing, but actually like really intentionally saying, these are our goals. What is the type of person who can best help us achieve the goal? And maybe they're really smart and experienced and they only have to work 4 hours a day to get there. Like that's that's cool too. And I think also having the same grace with myself, because I think, I have realized over the years, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Anyone who says they just started a company and then it's like 200 million next year and like, who knows how that happened, is lying. It takes time. It takes time. It takes a lot of steps. And, I came close to burning myself out a couple times. And now I'm like much more just like, I have a lot more grace of like, and a lot more like I lean into the flexibility. Like I stop working most days at 4 p.m. so I can go pick up my kids. And I still like, I don't tell myself, oh, I have to go back every night at 7 to like catch up. It's like, no, maybe sometimes I go back. Maybe if there were things I really needed to do, but also maybe not. Maybe I just, had a shorter work day and that's fine.
Totally fine. I think that's beautiful advice. It's awesome advice. And I think, 22-year-old Lisa would love that. Great piece of advice for everybody out there. You got to give yourself a break a little bit or you're going to burn the batteries out. And someone once told me, the work never goes away. You actually never beat the work. Like you can never, like Inbox Zero, it's a cool, fun game. But the reality is there's going to be more. So
always.
What are you going to do? Always more.
I know. We're sitting here on a Friday afternoon and this is my list of things unchecked. I know. I'm so low tech. I'm so techie in some ways, but I just like writing stuff down. There you go. Right?
It's okay.
Right? It feels good. It feels good.
It does. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for the show. It's really great getting a chance to meet you and learn more about you. Your story is great. Keep telling your story. Keep talking about your story. I think a lot of people would love to hear about it. Where can our listeners and viewers find you online on the interwebs? How can they talk to you?
Yes. We are all over the interwebs. So our website is the best place. And that currently has a bunch of cool new products that we just launched. So kulikulifoods.com. Let me spell it. KULIFOODS. Foods. Kuli Kuli Foods. You can also find us on Amazon, on Grove, on a lot of iHerb if you're international. And then we are in Whole Foods nationwide, Sprouts nationwide, Walmart nationwide. Just about wherever you shop, there's a chance that you will find us in that kind of superfood aisle along with like the chia seeds and the cacao nibs. So look out for it.
That's great. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody else, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And please be safe out there, everyone. We'll talk to you all soon. Peace.